Young Justice issue 19 finds Cassie in Metropolis, where she goes to Kaplan's, her old workplace, hoping to get her old job back, but her boss isn't impressed that the girl just disappeared for 2 years and now just showing up out of the blue for her old job. The woman says that this is the real world, and when one doesn't show up for their job, they no longer have that job. Her old boss wishes she never had this conversation with Cassie and hopes that she never has to have it with someone again, knowing Cassie is something special. Leaving, Cassie knows that special doesn't pay bills as the people on the street spot Superman flying above. Cassie checks in with Tim as her grandfather Zeus appears, wondering if coming all this way down to Earth in his human form only gets a hello from Cassie. Cassie knows that yelling out that Zeus is here after Superman just flew over just might be a bit too much for the people around them. Zeus says that he's always meant to say hi to Superman since he's been a great ally to Diana. Cassie wants to know what he wants, and Zeus hopes that she has given their conversation about her place in the Pantheon any thought, but Cassie knows that he wouldn't understand. Zeus begs to differ since after all, he is Zeus and understands quite a bit, including Cassie and who she is, knowing the young woman is struggling between the two worlds she comes from. Zeus says that she's struggling with her place in the world of man while rejecting her birthright in the new Pantheon, and it's frustrating both of them and the Pantheon as well. Zeus says that it's his job to make sure that she finds her proper path in life, but Cassie knows that it's never been about her. It's always been about Zeus, and the whole time they have known each other, Zeus has never once taken an interest in her, and that's fine with her since they don't really have much in common. Zeus calls her a dumb child as the city shakes with thunder, calling forth something to test Cassie. That thing comes in the form of a monster that is dubbed the 100-handed one, an older than ancient monster that rips through Zeus's physical body, but Cassie knows the god is fine. However, his physical body is now dead. Cassie quickly thinks about who can help her fight such a powerful creature when suddenly she feels the mythic Harpy sword, the weapon used by Cronus to castrate and depose his father Uranus. Using the flaming god weapon, Cassie easily bests the monster, killing it. Despite beating the monster, Cassie knows something is wrong and she is being messed with by Zeus, who wants the woman to see that she is being torn between two worlds, something she knows she is, but she also knows that Zeus is using it to try and control her. Seeing Jimmy Olsen and everyone taking photos of her, she takes off and in the present finds her friends, telling them what happened and what Zeus is doing. Naomi is shocked to learn that the Pantheon and Zeus and everything is real, learning from Cassie that all religion and mythologies are real. Ginny thinks that's awesome, but Cassie knows that the problem with the Pantheon is that it's the history of the world, and anything in the world is basically invented by those gods. Things like greed, war, rage, and bloodshed, all of which can technically be tracked back to Zeus. Ginny knows the good stuff can be also attributed to him and the gods as well, but then Cassie says Zeus is from the original generation of the Pantheon, and now he wants to be part of this world, but wants this world to serve him. Teen Lantern wonders what's so bad about being on the Pantheon of gods, since it sounds pretty awesome. But Cassie knows that many people think about the royal families of the world and even fantasize about being the princess and going to the magical ball and everything, but the more she thinks about it, it sounds a little insane, and why would she want to be part of something that isn't helpful to others in a world filled with real struggles? She says in a struggling world, Zeus makes no sense to her, and Steph understands as the others wonder if she can just talk with him. However, their meeting is interrupted by Poseidon, who along with his sea monsters attack Young Justice. Cassie leads the heroes into battle against the sea god, who once he sees the sword Cassie wields, he knows Zeus was behind this and the battle wasn't as one-sided as he thought. Poseidon retreats back into the ocean as Zeus arrives, saying that Cassie has stood her ground and defeated Poseidon, meaning that she has become worthy of her path towards the Pantheon. Cassie angrily tells him no, instead choosing another path with her friends. Zeus becomes angry, saying that others before her have chosen the same as Cassie and regretted it almost immediately, since what she is asking is to be banished from all time from the Pantheon, and if she calls his or other gods' names, they will not come. Assembling with Young Justice, Cassie says that if this is her end, then so be it. Knowing he has been beaten, Zeus makes a thunderous exit as the teary-eyed Wonder Girl knows she is finally free from his control. Young Justice issue 19 continued the trend of focusing on singular characters by finishing up Wonder Girl's story, which was set up way back in issue 2 before the team was pulled into Gem World and all of the other adventures they were sent on between them. I really enjoyed how, if the reader isn't too familiar with Cassie, the story does a great job of explaining who she is and what her place in the world world is, which is the through line of this issue, with her sort of deciding definitively what her position in this world is, whether it be joining the Pantheon or staying on Earth with Young Justice. Her reasoning for why the Pantheon doesn't make sense was actually quite a cool explanation, and something I had not thought of before. It's a really interesting take on how to view the Pantheon, and makes a lot of sense when you sit down and look at the facts that they aren't helping a struggling world and would rather have people serve them than them serve the people. I also enjoy that no matter the world, be it the DC universe or our real world myth history, that Zeus is still a massive manipulative dickhead, who when Casterly finally beats him at his own game at the end, it was just that little bit extra satisfying. We've got one final issue before the book ends for now, and I'm looking forward to the send-off that Bendis and Walker have for us. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.